order my food.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yes, I am going to be ordering. So Fame's going to have to take over in a little bit. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, because Fame is about to say something rude, and I just stopped him in his tracks. I feel so much better. But welcome to the Inner Circle's Writer's Block, and we're officially on episode 13. How does that sound?
Yay!
I can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah, made it this far. It's been about 16, 17 weeks, though, believe it.
Yeah.
But, Fame, enlighten our viewers on the news. Because we started out different.
Yeah, things are a little different now. Things have changed. You guys know I am Fame ENT. I am a vice president at the Inner Circle, or TiC, as you guys know. So, you guys did know me before. I was the COO of Hard Knock Gamers, and there has been a change in how things go as Jerry picks out his Chinese food that he's ordering. So what happened is we took what's great about the Inner Circle and what's great about Hard Knock Gamers, and we merged the two together. You guys still will be having, we'll be having our Facebook group, which has almost 6,000 members in it. We're still going to be doing, the podcast. Now, everything is just merged under one network, which is the TiC Gaming Network. There are some great guys over there at TiC. There's some great guys at Hard Knock Gaming. So, it made sense to put the two teams together because both teams brought something great to the gaming industry. So, at this point, we have aligned ourselves to be the biggest, if not one of the biggest names in the gaming community going forward. All of our writers from the hardknockgamers.com website are now writing for TiCGN.com. You still got your great writers, your favorite writers are still over there. We still got the podcast. Like I said, the Writer's Block podcast is still going. It's going to be every Tuesday. And for those of you who listen to this on, Podbean or whatever it might be, welcome, to our podcast. We are a multi-platform podcast, which is something new to the Inner Circle, the multi-platform thing. And that's one of the biggest things that Hard Knock Gamers brings over to the Inner Circle is multi-platform gaming. So yes, we are a multi-platform podcast. We talk everything from Nintendo to Xbox, PlayStation, PC. We talk about everything. We try to keep it as unbiased as possible. We won't do it in a bash on the crap like that. But yeah, man, I am happy to be a part of the Inner Circle, and this is going to be something great going forward. And I don't see many other things in the community that could compete with the combined powers of TiC and Hard Knock Gamers.
You got that right. So that's why if you guys haven't been paying attention to the intros of my videos, I've been saying kids move from the Inner Circle. Well, we are the Inner Circle. Hard Knock Gamers is still alive and well. And you can find a lot of our content that you used to find on hardknockgamers.com. You can find on TiCGN.com. So hopefully, you guys enjoy, and you guys continue to follow us on this journey with TiCGN, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content we about to put out. So in that case, let's start the show. You heard Fame talk all his, and now it's time for everybody else. I'm Kid Smooth, the host of the Writer's Block podcast. You guys know who I am, and welcome. Let's get to everybody else, like Nicodemus.
You guys are so funny, man. Why y'all so funny tonight? This is Nicodemus, writer for TiCGN.com, and I'm just glad to be here, ready to get started.
And man, back from the dead, undead.
What's going on? Back on podcast again. Had a couple of weeks off. It was my unpaid vacation, so I'm back at it again, and I've got some reviews coming up this week, so it'll be fun stuff. I'm ready to discuss what's been going on since my long absence.
You've only been gone like 2 weeks.
That's the longest I've been gone, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, unpaid vacation. Yeah, you didn't get paid here. And what's up? New type. Right?
That is Matt.
Yeah. Like
I know his name is Matt, but I want to call him by what everybody what he knows himself as, and like what you can find him on YouTube, and his writer tag. It's New Type 87, right?
86.
86. I was close enough, but I was shocked that I got new type right. I thought it was, but Matt, what's up? Matt is so boring, but new type, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's the generic name. It's from the Bible, yeah. So don't knock it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I'm. Yeah, it's my name.
And for those of you watching the podcast for the first time, Jerry should know better because he sells Bibles for a living. So he shouldn't be disrespectful like that. I'm just saying.
You be knocking on doors, Jerry?
Yeah.
No,
I look at you totally different now. Totally different.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. When Judgment Day comes, don't look my direction. Okay. Okay. So we got a couple of things to talk about. First thing, some of us got to play the Gears 4 beta. I know Fame has been playing the Gears 4 beta.
Hey man, don't be jealous.
I ain't jealous because I'm better than you. That's why I'm not jealous. I bet I'm better. All right. Did any of you guys play the Gears 4 beta? Did any of you guys play the Gears 4 beta?
No.
Nope. I'm salty too.
Oh, of course.
I'm just as salty too. So.
Yep.
Of course, Nicodemus didn't play it. He doesn't have an Xbox.
He's allergic to Xbox.
Yeah.
He gets a rash.
I wouldn't say allergic. I'm just in greener pastures right now. That's all.
He's the one. The day he cheated on his Xbox. So Gears 4 is pretty awesome. It's typical for me to say that, but it's really good. I'm a Gears of War fan. I hated Judgment. I sucked at Gears of War 1. Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3 I put a great deal of hours into, but this is probably the smoothest Gears of War multiplayer I've ever participated in. It is even smoother than the Ultimate Edition remaster. It's just like, holy crap, you know? The thing about Gears of War, if you're a diehard Gears of War fan and you participate in all the multiplayers, you know one of the biggest Achilles heel of Gears of War multiplayer is servers or the connection issues it used to have, the glitching and all this other stuff, the exploits and whatnot. So, and even though some of the exploits is there, and I felt like his input is there as more of a skill now, it feels really balanced. I feel like the Lancer can actually be used, just no one will use it. I've gotten kills. I killed a lot of people with the Lancer. Like, it works how it's supposed to work. And man, it's an amazing feeling. Like, my hype has returned to 2011 with Gears of War. And to those who said this was the ugliest game, like, I don't understand what they were looking at or what they were talking about.
Don't believe phone screenshots, man. This is crazy. People believe these phone screenshots, and it's ridiculous.
I was expecting it to be, but you could tell where it's missing some graphical fidelity and stuff and whatnot. Not to say that the game looks bad. The game doesn't look bad at all. It looks no different right now. At this point in time, looks no different than Ultimate Edition. Mm-hmm. To me, it's just brighter. Just a much brighter game than Ultimate Edition. So you kind of get to see the colors and stuff, but it runs smoothly. Wow, smoothie. It runs smoothly. It plays amazing, fantastic. And I'm sorry why it was the reason why we started approximately 7 minutes late. I was playing Gears of War 4 beta, and if you haven't, actually I got an extra code. I might give it out to somebody in this podcast tonight. So
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Wait, but who said I'm gonna take it? They ain't got no Xbox. You know what, Jerry, you hit the nail on the head, man. You know, from this beta alone, I've probably been killed and had more kills from the Lancer than I have playing any other Gears game. Like, people are actually using that gun, which is a shock. Now, don't get it twisted. Everyone's still running around with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Everyone's still running around with a shotgun. It's pop. You know, it's ridiculous. But I will say, Jerry, you hit on some of the great points I was gonna hit on. It is Gears of War Ultimate. It's just a tad bit sharper. It's brighter. And it's as smooth as all get out so far. I'm almost certain there's a lot of feedback coming in from somebody.
Let me see. It's probably me. Let me stop that.
There we go. Yeah. So there is a lot of where's I going? There's a lot of room for improvement. Obviously, they can do a lot more with the game up until release. But the game, as of right now, it looks absolutely great. I really have no issues with the way it looks. Now, I will say one of the weapons I'm enjoying a lot is the drop shot. I mean, when I get surrounded, you know, being the last person on the team, I had a part where I hit a couple dudes with a shotgun, killed them, had a guy chase me, turned around, put down a drop shot, rolled over, killed Tim, dropped another drop shot, and I killed like 4 or 5 dudes in a row, ended up winning the game. I mean, that gun is absolutely amazing. You guys haven't, you know, used that gun in the game or that weapon in the game, I wouldn't consider it a gun. Use the weapon because it's absolutely amazing. But it's still a shotgun fest. But it's actually really fun. If you are a Gears of War fan, I know Gears of War has a huge following. People, I think at this point, Gears is a bigger franchise than Halo. Even though Halo has the bigger sales, I think, and probably the bigger following, Gears is the bigger franchise at the moment. I think people get more hype for Gears than any other Xbox game, you know, to date, you know, thinking about Forza and Halo. I think Gears is the bigger title at this moment. And I think if you are a Gears of War fan, you are in for a serious treat right now. And I feel bad for you guys who aren't playing the beta because it is a really fun game.
Gears is like the little brother to Halo, even though it's getting its shine. Like, for example, you know, Lil Wayne. It's like Halo's like Lil Wayne, and then like Gears is Drake. You know, and Drake.
And Drake is bigger than Wayne now.
Now, of course. So, but like, I see where it comes in, but man, Gears. But the thing is, the one thing about Gears is I like, and maybe I've always played the Gears campaign. I always vouch to go straight to campaign before I touch multiplayer with Gears, and I'm looking forward to what the campaign is going to be about because the trailer is awesome, and I'm definitely I want to see how the story unfolds and learn a little bit more about what happened to, like, you know, Poppy Phoenix.
Remember the first Gears was a little bit creepy, and then after a while, like, the creepiness factor went away.
Yeah,
the trailer from this game, it looks creepy, and that's what we wanted. Not necessarily a survival horror game, but we want that fear of, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I'm hoping that the feel of the game is what we're feeling from the trailer, is that this game is once again, like the first Gears, was kind of creepy, but not fully blown survival horror.
Right.
Somebody said nerf the OP drop shot. You can't nerf that. Just like you shouldn't nerf the boom shot. There's special weapons you have to find to go get and use it. The first one to get it has the advantage. And they don't give you that many. They don't give you that much ammo for it.
you get 2 drop shots, and then that's it. You have to go and find another Lancer.
Yeah.
What game types did you guys play in this thing? I heard there was something called dodgeball.
Yeah, dodgeball is more like it's like you know how you tag somebody and they're out until, let's say, somebody on your team, they catch a ball, they get one of their teammates back in. It's like that with kills. So if we're playing, you know, and like we got a bunch of teammates like dead, and then we start getting more kills, more teammates is getting back into the game.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like what was that called? Elimination, but you actually have a chance to get your teammates back in now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And then they have this team deathmatch co-op, which is a team of 5 versus a team of 5 AIs that are on like the hardest difficulty possible.
Yeah. I played them. I couldn't believe how hard.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way we're playing against AI. But no way. I mean, they're playing like people.
I was getting irritated. I was like, I forgot I was recording gameplay. I was like, I'm getting killed by a bot. Like, he's like playing like a human, walking up to you with a shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, they'll pressure you. I mean, it's not like most games where they're just sitting back and coming around the corner and going back. No, like, they're pressuring you. They're pushing you back. I mean, it is ridiculous. Like, the AI in that game is out of this world. Like, it's something I've never seen before in a shooter.
Yeah. So, but yeah, hopefully, I don't know if anybody on the site put up impressions. I would love to write impressions for the Gears 4 beta, but we can discuss that a little bit later. In other words, some rumors and some leaks came through today. We have the PlayStation 4 Neo, aka the PS4K, aka the PS4.5. What's up? Come on, Nicodemus. This is your territory right here.
The indie god, or what do you call yourself? The king of indies?
The king of indies himself. Yes, sir. So, man, look, this thing, I really do need to hear the official word from Sony before I get anywhere near hype for this thing. Now I was looking at the specs, and I mean, to be honest, I'm looking at specs right now from the original PS4 to the Neo, and I mean, they don't look that much more impressive, honestly. So, um, I don't see how this thing could be like any higher than 1080p in resolution. I'm not like a tech whiz or anything like that, but looking at these specs, I don't see how it could be like they were saying possibly like 4K not native and all this other stuff. I mean, and also, I mean, looking at these specs, dude, I really don't see the reason why we're doing this. Now, somebody in our group, in Hard Knock Gamers group, made a good point. They said that they probably are bringing this thing out because the PSVR needed something more powerful to be connected to, and of course, Sony's not going to admit to that, but that might be the reason, because I really don't see any other reason why they would be bringing this thing out, because it's honestly going to only produce just a little more power from what I'm looking at. So, I don't know. I'm not really excited for it. I mean, honestly, just to be straight up honest, I'm really not excited for it. I can't see myself spending 400, 500, whatever dollars. It's probably gonna be 500. I can't see myself spending $500 on something that's only gonna be giving me a little bit more power. I mean,
You know what's going to happen? It's going to have that power brick that comes with the VR built into that PS4 unit, so you can so it could be a direct plug-in to it. But I don't feel bad that I sold my PS4 now. If I get a new PS4, it won't be another PS4. It will be the Neo, the extra special, and maybe it'll come bundled with like a VR. Who knows?
I don't know, dude. I mean,
Here's
I'll
something
just
to
see, man.
consider.
I gotta see though. I gotta see before I just write it off. I gotta hear from Sony, because all these rumors, they just have me going all over the place, dude. I just can't keep up right now.
Here's something to consider. Is one thing we can throw out the window is the possibility of it playing 4K. Put it out the window. It's priced. The rumors is priced at $400. You're not playing a 4K $400. So we can throw that rumor finally toss that out the window.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
But the only thing that, and I put this, I said this on Twitter. The only thing that I want from this console is the DS4 stays the same, which I'm pretty sure it will, because it's already a pretty much complete controller. And number two, it has a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band in it, because this 2.4 is ridiculous. Somebody who doesn't hardwire its PS4, that is flat out ridiculous that it comes with a 5 gigahertz band. Now, I must say I looked at the specs as well, and to me, the only thing you're getting out of this is steady frames per second, because the PS4 already plays games in 1080p. There's a very rare occasion where the PS4, my bad, all that noise come from Jerry, throw me off. It's very rare occasions that that's you, sucker. Very rare occasions that the PS4 doesn't run a game at 1080p. Very rare, it doesn't happen very often. So I think from this, the only thing we will see really is a steady frame, whether it's 60 or 30, it's a steady frames. Now
It's gonna have to be 60.
Yeah, 60 exactly.
To be
Now,
anyway.
for me,
Wow.
For me, I originally wasn't going to do this at all, but if I get a decent trade-in value on my PS4 now, I would do it just off of the fact that if it had a 5G, 5 gigahertz band in it, I would do it just off of that, because literally where my PS4 is in my house, I can't get, the same. I mean, I got 200 down and like 50 up. I can't get that wirelessly with the 2.4 band, and I don't want to take it back to my living room and hardwired. I want it in my bedroom, and play it in my bedroom. So if it gets the 5 gigahertz band, the DS4 stays the same, and we get a solid 60 frames. It shouldn't be a single game that comes out. Digital Foundry says
Not a 59, not a 59 and a half.
Yeah, none of that. It shouldn't be a stutter, because that's another $400 after we just bought a $400 machine 2 years ago. It better not happen.
You see, I think this is the reason why I'm not excited for it, because I'm actually happy with my PS4 and the performance, and I mean, honestly, I don't have any gripes with it. I think that a lot of people, they were saying that at the beginning of this console generation that the consoles were underpowered and all this other stuff. Yeah, I could see that. But honestly, for me, I've been like happy with my PlayStation ever since it was released. Like, I don't really have any issues with visuals, frame rates, or anything like that. Like,
Of course you don't have any issues with visuals. Your games are like 8 pixels.
Hey, look here, man. Look here. as king of indies, I'm going to always defend my royal court, okay? So you need to just go ahead and stop hating on these indies, bro, because the indie games, as I've stated several times, are better quality than most of these AAAs.
Okay.
Matt, Nick, what y'all think, man? What you thinking, Matt?
If the PlayStation Neo is real, and if it launches anywhere near the PSVR, I think it's going to be disastrous for Sony. Because you have people either saving up money for a PSVR, they already got it set, they're like, I'm buying that, and then here comes this new PlayStation that's like, oh, it's better than this, maybe I need to save my money and get this before I get the PSVR. I feel like it's going to eat into sales, but not to mention the headache it's going to cause developers. Because you got, I read the Giant Bomb article, and Sony made statements throughout it. Statements, I don't know who's saying this. It's a rumor.
Yep.
That they were gonna try their best that there's parity between the systems, so that the PS4K or PS Neo is never any better than the original PS4, but that's not gonna happen. I don't see it happening. You're gonna have a new Nintendo 3DS, old 3DS situation where Nintendo releases Hyrule Warriors, does not run on the old 3DS. It plays like you're going through a flip book with missing pages, and then you have it playing on the new 3DS, and it works and it runs like a dream. I feel like that's gonna happen. It's not a if, it's a when.
Okay. Undead. We're not taking Kid Smooth off of mute yet because he got a tunnel, New York tunnel or something in his living room.
I don't know. It's kind of an interesting situation they put themselves in. Like, they have the PSVR, which is $399, and they have the PS4 Neo, and I agree with Matt that if they release any of this all together, you're literally saying there, if you've got your PS4 and you ordered your PSVR, there's $400, but if you want the new one, it's going to be at least $450, because like a PS4 regularly where I live is $450. So the PS4 Neo is probably going to be like $550, almost $600 up here. So if they release all those together, it's going to be like $1,000 investment into a console that's been out for a couple of years. I just don't see it being successful together. Like, if they space it out, that's fine. And I don't think I think this was overhyped by people that got information too early, by hyping it was going to be 4K, and everyone made a really big deal about how much quality this was going to deliver, when in reality this upgrade is very similar to what they did with the like Xbox Slims and the like minor performance tweaks. Like, yeah, there's going to be different hardware in it, but it's not big enough that they should have made this big of a deal about it. Like, to me, when they were talking PS4K, I was thinking like huge hardware upgrades and everything else, and really it's just a couple of, like, it's a minor step forward. It's just a couple of years of technology step up. Like the 1080 60 FPS solid, that's great, but at the end of the day, isn't that what they promised us at the beginning of this generation? Why are we paying again for this? Like, I can't say anything. I'm an Xbox One owner, and like, it's a glory day when we hit 1080 60 FPS on a game. But at the same time, the console that demands that all their games come out like that, like, there's very few games that I see come out for PS4 that don't hit 1080 60 FPS. So myself, if I owned a PS4 right now, I would not sell it for a console just for like the one or two games that don't hit maximum performance. There's not enough games out right now that are high demanding on the PS4 to make me do that. Like, what would it upgrade? Like, the Uncharted multiplayer would go from, what is it? It's
960.
960, that would bring it up to 1080, and like 60. Really, does it really, if you got 60 frames per second, I'm willing to go 900p as long as the frame rate's consistent.
Here's the thing
Yeah,
with that,
I agree.
Undead. People out here claim that power is so important, that resolution is so important, that if you truly mean that and you're not a hypocrite, you will actually go out and buy that console. Anyone who's been running through these streets, laughing at anything the Xbox does that resolution is lower than the PS4, you better day one have this PS4 Neo, because if not, you. You're a complete and utter hypocrite. I can't wait to see what happens in the community when someone says my PS4 is better than your PS4. Suck it. I can't wait to see Digital Foundry do a side-by-side comparison video for PS4 and PS4. It's gonna be people. People gonna lose their minds. This is gonna cause unprecedented issues. I don't think Sony saw coming. It could potentially fracture the community if people are true to who they are, and say power is what matters the most. They're true to who they are. They will bash the older PS4 owners. Now, go ahead.
My biggest thing too is, like, we're talking about that, is what's the issue going to bring up, because, like, there's been games on PS4 that ran solid 1080 60 FPS, but when this PS4 Neo comes out and you spend that extra money and everything else, what happens when that first game doesn't hit that power mark? What happens when that first game gets that Digital Foundry video and it drops? What's going to be the fallout from that? Is there going to be a big blow up about it, or is it going to be one of those things we just don't talk about? Like, there's been things in the gaming community we don't talk about, like the common one with the PS4 is no one likes to talk about some of the games that don't quite make it to the graphical hierarchy that they've come to expect. And it's the same thing as people, they'll sweep the 1080 60 FPS Xbox games under the carpet, because it's all about people's objectiveness towards their console favorite. But I really have a hard time agreeing with any way they spin the PS4 Neo. I feel like they're screwing their loyal fan base with this. Like, I'm all for upgradable consoles, but the upgrade they're giving you is not worth the price of admission.
Yeah, but
if it's
Sony
more than 400.
Sony hasn't said anything. You say they. Who are you talking about? The community? Because Sony, they haven't said anything. Like, there has been no statement.
It's been all rumors.
It's been all rumors. Like, I don't understand this community. Why do we hype everything up? Like, we hype up games. We're hyping this up. So
because people are insecure about what they bought.
So when Sony actually does release the true specs and what this thing really is going to be, people are going to be let down. They're going to be like, oh man, I can't believe this. This is not what we were expecting and all this stuff. Like, but it's not what Sony was intending. Like, you get what you get. You get what they put out. So this thing may be totally different than what we're seeing. I mean, like you guys said earlier, it was 4K native. Then it was going to be upscale 4K. Now the specs that are released are just a little bit better. I mean, I still want to know what this thing really is going to be. I mean,
this could just be a PS4 Slim at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is what this could just turn out to be. Is just someone got a little giddy with some leaked information and ran with it, and well, it turns out is that Sony's gonna come out and be like, "Here y'all go. Here's a 1 terabyte Slim."
And everybody's gonna be so disappointed. Oh, look at the dog. Everybody's gonna be so disappointed.
I want to ask this. I want to start with Kid Smooth. If this is true, the PS4 Neo, let's say, for all intents and purposes, it's true and it's coming out with a console, does Microsoft have to respond? Or can they just sit it out and wait till 2018 whenever they plan on dropping a new console? Bill came out and said he doesn't like 0.5. He doesn't like Xbox 1.5. But if this is true and the PS4 Neo will be hitting 1080p 60 frames per second and Xbox is barely hitting 1080p sometimes, do they have to respond? Kid Smooth, you're muted. Don't forget the wind tunnel, son. Wind tunnel. Well, now it says you're muted.
No.
What is that?
All right.
Clown noises.
Kid,
that's my dog. My bad.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Does Microsoft? We're gonna go around the board. You're muted again. Jeez, Louise. Nope, you're muted. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. So we're gonna go back to Kid Smooth. Matt, we're gonna start with you, Matt. Does Microsoft have to respond? Do they have to drop a slightly more powerful Xbox?
No, not at all. Aside from Phil Spencer not saying that he didn't like it, the idea of a 1.5, I think they're saving all their chips for next generation. if it's going to be upgradable. So they have something, I guess, modular from the start. And the only way I could see them coming in is if it ends up being, like I said, a total disaster where you're not seeing Sony systems get sold anymore. They're not winning MPDs, and Xbox starts going on a run or a tear. But even then, it's the old systems. You wouldn't really need to make a new one. Plus, if you're focusing on hardware, that's just more assets you're using instead of focusing on software. So.
And if you guys are looking in the chat, for those of you who are watching, per TiC Podcast, per the Inner Circle, per the sources of the Inner Circle, Xbox must respond, will respond, and it will be glorious.
That's what I was trying to say. If you guys can hear me.
All right, so we'll go back to Kiss Move. What do you think, man?
You can hear me?
Yes.
Thank God. I'm like, the show can't go on without me speaking. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I was saying when you asked me should they respond, I was like, yes, and I think they're already ready to respond. I think they already have something, because before the PS4 4K was even like rumored, Phil Spencer was the first one to mention like an upgradable console, and that's when everybody started making fun of the Xbox guys for saying, you can't upgrade the Xbox, the USB ports aren't fast enough and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Remember we were doing all these videos and stuff about it, and then that got shut down because the PS4K, all this other stuff came about, and then Phil Spencer came back and said, I'm not interested in the 0.5. When Phil Spencer said that, he was saying specifically he's not interested in a minimum upgrade, like a half upgrade. He wants to knock it out the park, and it goes more in line to what he was saying earlier. Is like with the UWP, with the Universal Windows Application Platform. Yeah, you can have, like, for example, my PC and my Xbox One can both run like Quantum Break, like the same game, right? You know what I mean? And with the more powerful Xbox One, whether they call it an Xbox One or whatever, it can have all the power in the world, but they can truly release a game without interfering the development cycle, because it got to be built on a UWP. So that's why it's more likely. I always thought it was more likely for Microsoft to release an upgraded console, because they already have the software to do it without interfering and breaking up the player base.
Does it have to be a 1080p, 60 frames per second, steady, or can it be, what does it have to be to compete? Like what? Like
to compete, it just has to be.
He doesn't like a half. He doesn't want a minimum upgrade. So what does it have?
It has to have this is what I'm gonna say. This is what it has to minimum have. It has to have minimum starting at minimum at least a 1 terabyte hard drive, which I would say even more than that, because their consoles, they don't even have any more 500 gig models, pretty much. You don't see them anymore. So I would say somewhere, maybe even a 3 terabyte hard drive, right? So you got that. It has to do 1080p. It has to, because that's been their Achilles heel. The media destroyed gaming as far as quality is what we expect to get. So they have to hit 1080p with this console, because their next console, the successor, has to do 4K. It has to now.
Yep.
And so 60 frames per second, is it required? I don't know. Maybe. You know what I mean? They have to do something. It has to have the stuff that we would say, man, this console should have had this. You know what I mean? It has to come with an Elite controller. It has to come with an Elite controller.
The Elite has to become the standardized controller. It has to.
Because this, I can't go back to my other controller. I've been playing with this. I even play with this on my on the PC. So it has to have that. But as far as everything else, it just has to be in a position where we can't look at the Xbox. It just can't no longer be perceived as the weaker box if they're going to go this route.
Now, you know who loses in this? Nintendo. Because remember the NX rumors that it was supposed to be as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One?
Yeah.
Well, those two take a jump up. If I'm Nintendo, I'm sitting.
Always loses. They always losing.
Yeah, the NX would be the
rumors are true.
Oh, Fame was on like a remix. Y'all see him glitching up?
Yeah.
He was like,
Reanimation? What's
Yeah,
going on
I was like,
here?
oh
I don't
man.
know, man.
I was like, he doing motion cap for a Nintendo game?
That was scary and fly all in once. I
Yeah.
don't know what to think about that.
No. What I was saying was, if the index rumors were true that we heard, then they're pretty much screwed because Nintendo can't afford to come out with another weak console because Nintendo needs third-party support
Yep.
badly. Badly, they need it, so they can't come out with another weakest console. Otherwise, they're screwed.
Man, you know what the killing point was for the Wii U with me? I bought that bundle, the Zombie U bundle, the first day it came out. I got that thing home, and I was like, seriously? It's got a 32 gigabyte hard drive. 32 gigabyte hard drive. This is next generation. 32 gigs. Okay. Yeah, that thing got traded in really fast. But yeah, if they don't get third-party support, and I was actually working on an article that is eventually going to come out, and it was
At 2gn.com, by the way.
and it's talking about how Nintendo was talking about how the NX was going to be in 4K, but my whole theory is the Nintendo NX could be in 4K, but no one's going to care if they keep the same release schedule they had with the Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was months where it was like, why do I own a Wii U? Like, there was a lot more reasons to own a Wii U in Japan and everything else, because you look up the Wii U's list of titles, they've got tons of games, just not if you lived in North America. And, like, if the Nintendo NX could play in 4K, it could run everything seamlessly, it could be the best running console on the market. But if you can't get your third-party games on it, and your exclusives are 8 months to a year apart, then Nintendo's going to take more L's than Meek Mills again, so...
Yeah, but Nintendo, if all goes to plan, and PlayStation releases like a upgraded console, Microsoft releases an upgraded console, when the NX come out, it's going to be in the same exact position that Wii U was in when it came to like the Xbox One and PS4, and it's crazy. And we're in the situation where are we at the end of like the console cycle where it's like, all right, we're not just going to get a PlayStation 5 or Xbox 2 or 3 anymore. We're just going to keep getting remodified versions of the consoles we got now so they can keep the console at the $400 and $500 price tags.
Well, that's where things are going for. If you look at it, that's what they're trying to do anyway.
Yeah. Yep. So, any crack? Is this something that we can see holiday 2016?
Nah.
I don't think so.
Nah.
For either one?
Not the PS4K, dude. Well, I don't know. It depends.
Yes. They
I
have
would say
to.
the PS4K, because it's not a major upgrade. You see them specs?
Well, that's speculation, but I mean, it depends on what it's really for. If it's for like what people are speculating that it's to go with the PSVR because it needs a more powerful machine to go with it, then yeah, I could see it releasing probably the same month, if not before, maybe September, before PSVR releases. But it just depends on what this thing is. I mean, when does the Slims usually release? Like, if they announced it at E3 in the past, in history, when did the Slims usually release? Is it that same holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually 3-year mark. Usually. Something like that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. But it's a good release, though, because we don't have an official statement from Sony about this yet. This is all rumors, right?
Right.
Can they go from rumors to confirm to on the shelves by November?
I think Microsoft would be wise to sit back. And, of course, if the PS4K releases this year, I think it's wise for Microsoft to sit back and to see what they put out. So they don't go too overboard with it, and so they just make sure that they have something that's slightly more powerful. I think Microsoft has a grand opportunity here to see what the competition does and then try to one-up them. Because Sony has one-up Microsoft every step of the way this generation. On everything Microsoft has done, Sony has one-up them. I think this is the one golden opportunity that Microsoft and Xbox team has to sit back, see what the competition does, and one-up them.
I think what Microsoft is going to do, I won't be surprised if they put some sort of freaking R9 Fury X in their freaking upgraded Xbox if I'm not playing like one of them damn AMD cards. I would not be surprised. I think they're going to come out with an upgraded console, but I think it's going to be exactly what we expect, a literal upgrade. That's just going to be that's going to be forward and backward compatible. That's what I've been calling for the next console to do. And that's actually what I've been calling for the Xbox One to do. It's going to be the upgraded Xbox that when we turn it on, we're going to see our same Xbox interface, and we're just going to, the games on it is just going to run better, closer to its, like, not going to say it's going to match PC settings, but closer to the PC settings and better than its Xbox original counterpart. But that's just.
I don't want gamers. If the price of these consoles shoot up a couple $100, $200, I don't want to hear gamers crying about the price, because you guys want the power, you guys want the specs. That stuff costs money. People always talk about, oh, PC guys got this, got that. Well, they pay the money to play games in 4K. So if you want that, you better be ready to pay for it. I don't want to hear nobody trying to play 4K on a budget.
No, you're gonna hear it, man. That's the state of this community, man. We want something for nothing, like always. You know. Now you guys are talking about Microsoft having to bring out a more powerful console to compete with Sony. What is you guys' definition of compete? Because I mean, are you guys talking about sales, or are you talking about Microsoft actually gaining some more market share and being able to increase their games library and look more favorable
there it
in
is.
the community's eyes? Is that the type of competition y'all talking about? Because with sales, I don't think they can do anything to basically topple PlayStation as far as sales, at least just this generation. Maybe catch up somewhat, but I'm thinking more like market share and being more favorable in the eyes of the consumer, trying to make up for all the bad mistakes.
You hit the nail on the head, because what they have to do is, like you said, get more favorable, get the market share, because what they have to do at this point, so they're not catching the PS4 and stuff, they have to build for the future. You have to win back your audience. You have to give the gamers what they want. So for the next generation, you're not playing catch up from Jump Street.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though, is if you look back a generation, you look back at PS3 and Xbox 360, at the start of that generation, Microsoft steamrolled that. That was a Microsoft steamroll. They got all the third-party support. They got all the first-party games. There was tons of games on my PS3 I loved. I bought PS3 first, but they were winning the sales for the first half. But as you look to the end of that generation, PS3 had pretty much caught up for the most part, sales-wise. It almost every generation it balances out near the end. I don't think there's never been a split this large, but I think depending on how E3 goes, a lot of things swing on E3. And like last year E3, it was backwards compatibility that they dropped, and there was no rumors about that. There was no precursor to that. I think Microsoft keeps everything in their pocket, and if they have, I'm not going to say Sony needs to keep a tighter ship, because we hear about Sony leaks almost every other day now. I don't know how many of them are true, because you can write anything on the internet and claim it to be from the source. But I think that with Microsoft just basically being quiet and not commenting a lot, they've got something in their pocket. Whether or not it's successful or not is neither here nor there. They've got something planned. Now, I could be completely wrong, and they could completely blow E3. That's also an option, too. But I don't think with Phil running it and how much resources they have, because it's a Microsoft brand, they're going to come out swinging empty-handed. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they need to upgrade Xbox to step back into like the sales or anything like that. I just think just for like, you're already not in the market for VR, which I don't think they need to be in the VR market. And I think it was necessary for the Xbox to put out something, because ever since 2013 they've been pegged, before the console even came out, as it being weaker and underperforming and whatnot, and that it never itself got a fair chance. And even to this day, the Xbox doesn't get a fair share, because a game could look good on the Xbox One, but the minute you tell someone it's not running 1080p, it no longer looks good to the general public anymore. So it's
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, how many people before this console generation even knew the difference between 1080 and 900? Honestly,
I still don't. Still don't.
like honestly, like I sit there, like I'm playing Far Cry Primal on my Xbox One right now, and just damn, that game is beautiful. Like I'm just reeling from because last Far Cry game I played was Far Cry 3 on the Xbox 360. So to go from that to where it's at now, that makes my head spin. Like, I'm not sure Far Cry Primal's 1080 or whatever. It's a beautiful game. I love it, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So I just play the games for the content. If it looks good, cool. I play a lot more indie games than AAAs because of affordability and creativity over everything. So, but that's just me.
Hey, just saying. I just think I like my indies. I like my AAA, but lately the AAA games haven't been coming like they've been coming in the years past.
Hold on,
Wait, is that an admission that indies are better, Kids Move? Is that an admission?
They're more. They get them more often. There's a lot more variety.
Oh, look at this! Jump on the bandwagon.
Speaking of indies,
I never said
how
stories.
stories.
It's not worth buying for a $500 console. I'm sorry. I mean, I love to have them. I definitely do. Love to have my indies. I have a fair share of indie games. But when the new consoles come around, you're talking about all this power. I want to see like megatons, like make my eyes bleed. Like that's.
I want to see that
But
too.
you have a PC, Jerry. Don't you have a PC? You already get
PC gaming is not as fun as console. Here's the thing. It was like you have a PC. Oh, it's so beautiful. But Matt, I can't do that in a party of all my friends. Like, oh, see how good this game looks.
If you got the Xbox app open, you can.
Yeah, but then I sound like a hold on, I can't cuss. I sound like a big old meanie because I'm in a party.
Big old meanie.
I sound like a big old meanie.
I'm in a party with all my friends. All my friends are on the Xbox. I'm the only one that's on the PC. Like, oh my god, you see what this game looks like? Oh my god, it's freaking awesome. They're like, oh no, I'm playing in 900p. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It's not the same. Experience is not the same.
Looks aside, next gen to me, yes, it's always going to be a bump in looks, but it also comes with these games being better quality. The AI in the games actually being smart. Like we got games that come out, there's glitches. AI is stupid, complete trash.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing is, I love AAA, I love indies. You guys know this, but my thing is, it seems like the indie games just have everything, like nice visuals, great quality gameplay. Yes, I'm sorry, they do. Guild Gauntlet, sir, has nice visuals. It's just on how you look at it.
All right, here's the thing about what the indie. Go ahead, Fame. I'm sorry.
Just to grab them really quick, Nicodemus. How was Stories?
Oh man, that's an example of a great quality.
That game looks great, and it's an indie game.
It's amazing, man. You guys can check out my review just dropped today on TiCGN.com. I gave it like an 8.7, but man, that game is amazing. It's different, bro. Like, it's called Stories for a reason, because the story, it just basically it just grabs you in. It's basically like the premise is that you go through so many different stories within this game, and you're trying to achieve basically ultimate greatness. And you play through all these different scenarios, and every time you fail, the game kicks you back to the beginning. It kicks you back to the beginning. You keep all your upgrades and the knowledge of basically the mistakes that you made, so that you can attempt to rectify those mistakes. So there's about a total of 24 stories in all, 5 chapters each, and you're basically trying to get, like, basically, I'm not going to spoil the game, but ultimate victory in the end. And no, it's a beautiful game, man. Like, the artwork is like the art style of the game is like a tapestry. I think I called it. It looked like watermark painting. That's what it reminded me of. But
Right, Beyond Eyes.
Yeah, look better than that. Better than that. No, it's not that. It's not that. No, it's not that. It looks better than that. It's a lot more cleaner than that. But no, really great game, man. Actually, I wasn't even really like I'm supposed to be on my Ratchet and Clank game, honestly. And when I popped that game in just to play a little bit of it, I just couldn't stop, bro. Like I was playing it like the whole night. I had to put Ratchet and Clank down. That's how good it is. So, I highly recommend it though. And check out my review.
Yeah, that's the closest thing I'm gonna get to touching that game.
Hey, look here, Kiss Move. Have you seen gameplay of it, sir?
It looks good, dude. Like it.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna buy it tonight and play it.
Gameplay of it.
Really good.
Wait,
Yes.
wait. Is this only on PlayStation?
Yes.
All right, then. All right, I'll watch it on your channel if you put some up.
Yeah, I need to live stream it, but the combat is fluid. It's almost kind of like that Batman combat, and where you just go from one enemy to the next, and when you parry, slow motion occurs, and you can inflict more damage on all your enemies. Yeah, it's really good. I actually want to play it right now. Thanks a lot, Fame, for reminding me.
Hey, I'm gonna put the word out there, man.
Now,
Send
some
it
of
to
these
Dre
games,
in the comments.
the thing is about a lot of these games is like I love the way that there's a lot of these smaller studios is able to provide games and provide content that we're not going to get in these AAAs and just showing different type of creativity. But there's the common thing with what I've noticed with some of these indie games is something about the art style of these games that it's like I feel like they get overly praised for no reason. All right, it's okay for a game to look good, but some game can literally be like you throw red, blue, and purple paint on like a canvas and it's like a work of art. That's what some of these games feel like. I feel like the best looking indie I've ever played. I'm just talking visuals alone. I'm not even talking about like as a game itself. The best looking, I think, indie, not a big indie game that costed $60, but like a small title, a small budget title, was Numa Breath of Life and Never Alone. As far as Never Alone, that game with the
Was Ori not an indie?
I said best looking to me. Ori, like I said, is
Ori
one of the
is
games
beautiful.
It's a beautiful game.
It's a beautiful game, and the art style.
I could have swore you guys say Ori.
No, I wasn't going to say
Numa?
Ori. Ori looks like a video game. Just saying that as far as videos that I appreciated the most was Numa and Never Alone because they look like okay, wow, I'm in. This is.
I guess that's really all preference too. But it really goes with what the game is going for. Like the pixelated games. That's what they're going for. Like they're trying to pay homage, whatever the case may be. So that's what they're going for. So they do look good for what they are. You know what I'm saying? That's my take on it.
Yeah.
And of course, just like any game, there's trash indie games. I mean, yeah, we overhype everything in the community. So indie game lovers, they're gonna overhype indie games. AAA people, even though it's disappointment after disappointment every single year, you're gonna overhype that as well.
My question is though, with the indie games, why is I feel like every indie game or every good or decent indie game, why does it have to be a puzzle? I feel like every indie game that comes out, three indie games gonna come out like in the next week, and they all be puzzle platformers or a puzzle some sort of a puzzle. It can't just be your version of a game, but it has to be a puzzle.
That Numa Breath of Life that you mentioned, that's a full-on puzzle game. That's why I skip that. I don't like those. I don't like full-on puzzles. I like a mix.
The thing about Numa Breath of Life that I did appreciate because it was a first-person puzzle. I know there's a couple of first-person puzzlers that came out after that, but they weren't. I feel like it didn't grab my attention like Numa did. You know what I mean? I feel like I was playing as God, even though they didn't want to tell me I was playing as God.
You were playing as God.
Yeah. So Numa, it was a special game. Then they had another game called like Cube or something like that. I wasn't really feeling, but yeah. Sick. Babe.
Don't snitch.
I go but as far as like I said, I have my fair share indie games. Matter of fact, keep talking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my library of games because Nicodemus think I be hating on indies just because.
Yeah.
Actually, I got the big
out
one.
there.
there's a lot of indie games now because we obviously have a huge saturation of indie developers that now have ways of getting their games out there, which is good because there are a ton of great indie games out there. But is anyone getting like a game I played on my laptop because it didn't even have to be that powerful? Super Hot was super. That was super addictive. I'm not sure if anyone.
When is that supposed to be coming out to console, to Xbox?
I have no idea on console, but I bought it on my PC and it's wonderful.
But I think about Super Hot that I'm afraid, isn't it? Aren't you just shooting at? What are you shooting at? Like, is it like freaking? It look like 3D model mannequins of like.
What's the name of this game?
Super Hot. It was like a 3D Matrix shooter. You play. It's like a FPS game. Basically, what you do is when you're standing still, time stands still, and as you move, time moves forward. So you can dodge bullets. You can, like, at one point in the game, you can get katana, slice bullets. It's super addictive and fun.
Is this on PS4, sir?
No, it is on PC, sir.
And it's coming
Okay.
to Xbox.
Put my pen and pad down. Don't care about that one.
He said,
Hey, Nick, you only 10 minutes away, man. One day you come to the house, you get
Look
up on
here.
the Xbox games,
That's
man.
what I'm talking about. I want to play that Gears 4, man. Like, seriously. I need to get my hands on that.
Me and you got to talk after the show.
Yeah, I will bring the pizza, bro. I'll bring the
All right.
pizza, the beer, whatever you want. I will bring just to get my
Gonna
hands
make it
on
happen.
PS4. Yes.
Gonna make it happen.
Yeah, then I give my first, honest, unbiased first impression of the game.
nice, nice. But did any of you guys play Gear Gauntlet?
No.
No,
Y'all
unfortunately.
slipping. Y'all slipping, bro. If
Get
I had
on
an
that
Xbox,
game.
I'd be on that game. I'm not gonna lie. If I had an Xbox, I'd be on that game.
Get on it, man. Get on it. It's a rage-inducing game. It's like sometimes I just want to call Jay and be like, you are a real bing hole for making this game. for certain, because certain levels of the games are kind of unnecessary, like really unnecessary. Like you had to be like, how can I piss somebody off with the level in this game? Oh, this is how we do it. But it's a good game. It's really a good game. Hopefully you guys get to check it out.
Hey, Jerry, your sister just spit in your food, by the way.
Oh,
That quick he turned around, that boy got scared.
Yeah, it's play too much. I'm trying to think of the. Is Crimson Nicodemus is Crimson Land on the PlayStation 4?
Crimson Land? I don't think so. I haven't seen that title on there because I actually every week, me being the self-proclaimed king of indies, I go on the store and I search through the indie selection just to see if there's anything I need to pick up. And no, I didn't see that on there. Unless it dropped this week. I haven't checked this week yet.
It dropped a little while ago. It was I was playing it. I got some gameplay on it before, but it's like one of them. I'm trying to think of what game it reminds me of. But you sit there and you shoot at like huge bugs. But it gets hard over time. It gets harder over time. I don't know if I beat it yet or not. I gotta double check. I think I rated.
Sounds familiar, but no, I don't think it's on PS4. Crimson Land.
Yeah.
Let me write that down.
Young Savage in the comment section said Crimson Land is on PS4 and he loves it.
All right. Nicodemus, you've been slipping.
Who is this? Who is this? Said this in the comments.
Young Savage.
Young Savage. Yo, hold on.
Oh,
let me take a
I
minute.
thought it was Crimson with a K. Okay, my bad.
Stop lying. When the last time you heard Crimson being spelled with a
Okay,
K?
my bad. Yeah, it is there. I saw it. It's in the A, B, then C's. I saw
Crimson
it.
with a K? Come on. Really? Do you really use that excuse?
Yeah,
You know,
no, I
you can't come to my house now.
Hey, look here! I really thought it was Crimson with a K. No lie. Seriously, that's what I had in my head when you heard you say that. Like seriously, yeah, I have seen it. I haven't tried it yet.
It's spelled with a K though.
It's like, I'm a Crip, but I'm a Crip with a K. So
No, with a K. No, with a K. Oh.
From
No,
Mortal
but
Kombat developers.
I do want to take a moment to shout out Young Savage, and the reason why Young Savage, thank you for watching. This man found the podcast a little bit later on, but what he did, and I didn't realize until it was like one morning I'm sitting there looking at my email notifications. This man went back and watched all of the podcasts all the way from episode 1. Big shout out to you, Young Savage, and thank you for the support, man.
Real quick, can I give a shout out to this man as well, because he found me on this channel, went to my channel, watched every video from the beginning of time, so many comments that I can't even keep up. So he's a real supporter. Like that is what a subscriber is supposed to look like. So yeah, big shout out to that man for real.
Shout out to Young Savage.
Y'all need him on your team. Seriously, Young Savage for president.
Yeah, Young Savage. Speaking of, if anybody's won the Gears of War 4 beta code, I will drop that in the chat. Let me open my inbox.
And by chat, you mean my Xbox inbox, right there,
No,
Smooth?
I'm gonna throw it in the chat.
I can't believe how people still haven't got their Gears code yet. Like Microsoft's dropping the ball with codes.
Yeah.
They did it with the Quantum Break Windows 10, and now people with their Gears of 4 beta code, like they're dropping the ball, man. Not even half the people who pre-ordered Gears of War have gotten or played Gears of War during that time has gotten that code. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but here's the code, anybody. It's coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. There it goes in the chat. Hurry up, Undead. Hurry up, Undead.
I better get it. I better get it before I get it.
But what we got next? Are we like an hour strong?
Dude, we're well over an hour.
Actually, no, because we didn't start on time.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
We was just lollygagging. But that steak and cheese is smelling good.
But I think, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was it for tonight. We covered all bases. Oh, one more thing. Somebody in the chat. VG Charts revealed that Quantum Break sold over 260,000 units the first week. And of course, the LOLs are coming out because it was supposed to be the fastest selling game. It was number one. It was number one for sales this week. But question is 270 enough for a new IP like Quantum Break for its first week? This is not counting digitals. It's not counting digital sales, but we will use VG Charts as the end-all, be-all.
Why you sound like a news personality?
This is what I wanted to be all my life, and I'm just trying to reach my calling.
Living out the dream.
Hey, before we get out of here, I just want to remind you guys, just so you guys who missed at the very beginning, we did announce the Inner Circle and Hard Knock Gamers merger. We will be one of the biggest things going in gaming right now, so make sure you guys check out TiCGN.com for all the latest news and articles. Make sure you follow everything the Inner Circle, and make sure you guys still join our Facebook group, Hard Knock Gamers. Make sure you guys join on the Hard Knock forums on TiCGN.com. The Inner Circle, where great things happen, and we'll be having a gaming night starting soon, where the elite come to compete. So make sure you guys look out for that.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So the merger is official. That's why you see the links in the description below. Visit www.ticgn.com and please join Hard Knock Gamers Facebook group. Happy to be called a part of the Inner Circle, and this is one of the official podcasts, a part of the Inner Circle. This is Writer's Block, episode 13. Shout out to TiC Network, TiC Podcast, and all of our supporters around. Do you guys have anything else to say before we log out for the night?
Happy merger day! Yay!
Boom, 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 boom. We need a theme song.
We do.
All right.
I'm just going to say right now, for the next 2 weeks, I ain't going to let Nicodemus live down Tripping on Crimson Land. That's going to be a good one for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'm going to learn how to spell Crimson Land with a K.
Come on, man. That is
Mortal
an
Kombat
mistake.
with a C. MC.
Or what a
Honest
combat with a
mistake.
C.
Y'all play MC10?
You guys, right? Y'all something else.
Shout out to Nicodemus. Please check out his channel. Awesome guy, awesome content, and I'm gonna be looking out for your beautiful game. Cause I thought you were gonna cry if you kept talking about that game.
I'm telling you, bro. You are gonna cry when you see this game. I'm telling you.
I'm sure I will. Either
it
way.
brings you in. I'm telling you, man. It puts you right there in the game, fighting alongside Ronaldo with his sword.
You need a 60-hour game, my friend.
Ronaldo the Fox The Wiley Fox going at it. I'm telling you.
Oh man, hurry up, log out. We got log out before you get fame and trouble, man. Anybody got anything to say before I
What's wrong, fam? My wife don't play. My wife don't play, B. That's wrong, man.
Oh man, tell them we said hello. Have a great night. We hope you all have a great night. I'm out. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. That's just my message. Doesn't bear on anybody else. Doesn't. We're logging out. All right. And let your voice be heard, because I don't think Fame got time to say that.
Cold-blooded, fam.
All right, man.
Cold-blooded.
Peace. Writer's Block, episode 13. We see y'all next week, next Tuesday, for episode 14. We out.